The unfolding situation in Gaza is drawing intense global attention as Israeli soldiers appear to hesitate on launching a full-scale invasion, while reports suggest that nearly 30,000 Hamas fighters are strategically positioning themselves for battle. This moment represents one of the most critical and uncertain phases of the conflict, not only because of the military dynamics, but also due to the political, psychological, and humanitarian implications tied to it. Understanding why this hesitation exists requires looking at multiple dimensions: strategic planning, battlefield conditions, morale among troops, and the readiness of Hamas forces to exploit any delay. At the center of this development is the operational readiness of the Israel Defense Forces. The IDF is known worldwide for its highly trained, technologically advanced and disciplined military structure. It possesses superior firepower, state-of-the-art intelligence capabilities, and advanced weapon systems that in many ways give it the upper hand in conventional warfare. However, Gaza presents a completely different battlefield compared to open terrain. Urban warfare inside densely populated neighborhoods, underground tunnel systems, and guerrilla-style resistance are major deterrents. These factors weigh heavily on Israeli commanders as they evaluate not only the military cost, but also the potential human and political consequences of moving forward. On the other side of the equation is Hamas, whose reported 30,000 fighters represent a significant mobilization. While these forces may not match the IDF in terms of technology, heavy weaponry, or air power, their advantage lies in the asymmetrical nature of their defense strategy. Gaza's labyrinthine streets and hidden tunnel networks, often referred to as the Gaza Metro, provide Hamas fighters with the ability to launch surprise attacks, ambush invading units, and disappear into the underground. This form of unconventional warfare makes any invasion far more dangerous than a straightforward military operation. Israeli soldiers know that the moment they set foot deeper into Gaza, they face an environment designed to neutralize their technological edge. The hesitation is also psychological. After years of conflict, Israeli troops are not only physically prepared, but also deeply aware of the risks that come with engaging in Gaza. Urban combat is notorious for high casualty rates, even among well-equipped armies. The thought of engaging in house-to-house fighting, where every street corner or building could hide improvised explosive devices or sniper fire, raises concerns about survivability. Moreover, Hamas has learned from past conflicts, refining its strategies to maximize pressure on advancing forces. This creates a mental burden on soldiers, knowing that despite their training, the battlefield ahead is unpredictable and filled with lethal traps. Performance in such a context is not only about weapons and tactics, but also about coordination and timing. The IDF has delayed operations at times to ensure that intelligence gathering is as thorough as possible. Real-time satellite imagery, drone surveillance, and signals intelligence play crucial roles in mapping out Hamas positions, tunnel entrances, and supply chains. Any gaps in intelligence could spell disaster during an invasion. For Israeli leadership, ensuring that their soldiers enter with maximum preparedness is a necessity rather than a choice. This is partly why the hesitation might be interpreted less as fear and more as a strategic pause, designed to minimize risks while weighing political costs. Another critical element shaping this moment is the international reaction. Every move Israel makes in Gaza is scrutinized globally, from the United Nations to regional powers. Civilian casualties have historically triggered backlash and placed Israel under immense diplomatic pressure. This means that the IDF must consider not only how to neutralize Hamas fighters, but also how to conduct operations with as much precision as possible to avoid escalating condemnation. For the soldiers preparing to invade, this adds another layer of complexity: They are asked to fight with restraint in an environment where restraint could put their own lives at greater risk. Balancing these opposing demands creates hesitation, as no soldier wants to be caught between mission objectives and ethical dilemmas. From a design perspective, Hamas has essentially crafted Gaza into a defensive fortress. Every tunnel, every cache of weapons, every booby-trapped building is part of a wider network aimed at slowing down or bleeding out an invading force. This is a unique feature of this conflict. Unlike open battlefields where armies clash in predictable ways, Gaza represents a battlefield where design elements of the urban environment itself become weapons. For Israeli soldiers, this means facing not just fighters, but a city engineered for resistance. The distinctiveness of this environment makes the conflict unlike conventional wars fought elsewhere. The unique selling point, if we can frame it that way, is the combination of high-tech military sophistication on one side and adaptive guerrilla resilience on the other. Israel's hesitation highlights how advanced militaries are often slowed down by the challenges of irregular warfare. Hamas, despite being technologically outmatched, leverages terrain, secrecy, and unpredictability as its greatest weapons. This clash between two vastly different forms of warfare is what makes the current standoff so compelling and uncertain. For ordinary viewers trying to make sense of this situation, it is important to understand that hesitation is not weakness, but a reflection of the seriousness of the stakes. Soldiers are trained to act decisively, yet when the battleground is as volatile as Gaza, caution can be the wisest strategy. Every move is calculated not only to achieve military victory, but also to manage political fallout, maintain soldier morale, and anticipate the next phase of the conflict. The buildup of 30,000 Hamas fighters signals that they are ready to turn Gaza into a battlefield of attrition, forcing Israel to reconsider the timing and scope of its invasion. At the same time, within Israel itself, this hesitation creates political pressures. Leaders face criticism both from those who want immediate and decisive action and from those urging restraint to prevent a drawn-out quagmire. For soldiers on the ground, this political debate adds yet another layer of uncertainty. They must prepare for combat while watching their leaders weigh domestic expectations and international diplomacy. This combination of external and internal pressures explains why hesitation is not just a battlefield decision, but also a reflection of larger strategic calculations. Ultimately, the situation unfolding is less about whether Israel has the power to invade and more about what the consequences of that invasion would be. The IDF's strength is undeniable, but Hamas's preparations are designed to make that strength costly to exercise. Israeli soldiers face not only a physical battle, but also a psychological and political one, knowing that every step into Gaza carries consequences that go far beyond the immediate battlefield.